We're earning our reputation one story at a time. Now, John Hambrick and Giselle Fernandez, Channel 6 Action News.
Easter is celebrated in South Florida and around the world. We'll take you to some of the services and the festivities. President Bush is relaxing in the Florida Keys tonight. We'll have a live report. And the grounded Honduran freighter sitting on Miami Beach is supposed to be a memory tonight. That stuck freighter on South Beach is apparently free at last. Good evening. John Hambrick and Giselle Fernandez have the night off. I'm Beverly Counts Rodriguez. You're looking at a live picture, or you will be looking at a live picture of the freighter Concepcion that has been grounded on South Beach for nearly 2 months. But workers got it moving just about a half hour ago. Channel 6 Action News reporter Jackie Bales spent much of the day on the beach waiting for the big moment and filed this report.
As bungee jumpers leaped for joy and $70, an even bigger crowd gathered for the hotter beach attraction today, the chance that the rusty freighter Concepcion will finally be pulled free after 2 months stuck in the sand.
Oh yeah, it looks like they're doing pretty good, taking some more garbage off. As soon as they crank up the tugboat, that's when the action's gonna start happening. Yeah, that's what I'm waiting on, that tugboat.
For many people, it's weekend and everybody stay here and look for the ship. It's an attraction for Miami Beach, I think so.
Be that as it may, this morning salvors began the final part of their 2-week-long job, pumping the last 200,000 gallons of water from the ship's hold straight into Miami Beach sewers. They have already pumped raw sewage out of the ballast tanks, unloaded 115 tons of rotting rice and beans, and removed at least a dozen vehicles from the deck. Finally, the ship began rocking, and now it's up to the tugboat to do its part.
We're waiting for high water. Once that comes, we'll take a strain on it, and hopefully she'll slip right out.
And from the way she's rocking, how difficult do you think it'll be to get her to move?
That's a difficult thing to say. It's always difficult right up until the time she's pulled off and she's floating.
And for some, like the lifeguards who have had to chase countless people away, it won't be a moment too soon.
I'm not going to miss it at all. It's been a pain in the butt. Okay, what more can I say? Bunch of rescues, life's in peril, good riddance.
Well, I guess he's a happy man tonight. That freighter will now be towed back to a terminal along the Miami River, where it will stay until a federal judge determines once and for all who owns it. The state of Florida now, or the original Haitian owners. The state and Florida taxpayers are, however, footing the bill for the removal, an estimated cost of $315,000.
Okay, thank you very much, Jackie. Well, with the Gulf War behind us, the president is finally taking a little time off for some R&R, and he's doing it right here in South Florida. He's paying a visit to the Florida Keys, where he's expected to do a little bone fishing and a lot of relaxing. Channel 6 Action News reporter Cliff Caldwell is standing by in Isla Mirada to give us the very latest on the presidential visit. Cliff?
Beverly, the president hung up his sign at the White House, gone fishing, and within an hour of his arrival here in Isla Mirada, he's out on the water. President Bush is bone fishing. He's expected to do a lot over the next few days with his good friend, longtime fishing guide, and local store owner, George Hummel. It's only a hop, skip, and a jump for the president and entourage to go from Homestead Air Force Base to his vacation spot in Isla Mirada. George Bush is a frequent fisher with guide George Hummel. While Vice President, Bush visited the Keys to bone fish the shallow water some half-dozen times. With each visit, Hummel says he's less nervous, although Bush's prominence never escapes the humble fishing guide and shopkeeper.
He's a kind of man that says, well, we're going fishing and this is playtime and no business, but that's really not so. He's always got presidential things on his mind.
If Hummel forgot how important he is, motorists on US 1 were reminded. They were stopped while Bush drove from the nearby helicopter landing site. Deputies from Monroe County Sheriff's Office and the Florida Highway Patrol kept the growing crowd from spilling into the street. A crowd who cheered as the limo passed, and in the case of Hazel Poem, on holiday from Britain, virtually gushed over the president's accomplishments in the Persian Gulf.
He is the greatest, and the strength that he had, he gave the whole world encouragement. He was great.
No word exactly on what Bush will do while he's here, but with the constant tension in the Persian Gulf, the hundreds of thousands of troops that are still there, not to mention the day-to-day responsibilities of being a president, you can believe, Beverly, he'll have, in the words of Mr. Hummel, a few presidential things on his mind.
Okay, thank you very much, Cliff. As the Easter holiday winds down, so do hopes for the release of 13 Western hostages in Lebanon. A Lebanese newspaper had reported some foreign hostages were to be released on Easter, but the report was not clear whether it meant today or next week's Orthodox Easter. So far, there have been no signs to indicate the release will take place. The longest held captive is associated